As I said, you must know what AI is capable of and what AI cannot do. Then after getting the right knowledge, you look for what they call quick wins. What are those pain points that you want to invest in that you think AI can be able to do for you? Then after piloting in one area of your business, maybe in terms of reconciliation, you monitor it for 90 days. If it works well for you, then that's when now you can automate another aspect of AI. So if you want to do many things at once, you'll get overwhelmed. So you need to learn as you gradually grow.
And now it's time for this week's Top Tech Tip. How to create a Microsoft Word template. If you regularly create the same document, save it as a template. Go to File, Save As, choose this PC, enter a file name, select Word template as the file type, and click Save. Next time, open the template and edit it instead of starting from scratch. Dutch company TTA ISO has developed Harv AI, an AI-powered robot that harvests ripe tomatoes automatically. Using AI vision and 3D navigation, it can pick up to 450 vines per hour while reducing crop damage. One person can supervise up to 6 robots, making greenhouse farming more efficient and productive. Well, that's a wrap for this week, folks. Until next time, stay ahead of the curve and get connected to the future with Tech Connect. Goodbye.
NBS. Always. Up next. Brought to you by
The Vinca Live and Loud concert is brought to you by Swans Avenue and Skyview. Skyview, more flavor, more fees, more fun.
NBS Live at 9.
Victoria and I are very musical, and we've been thinking of starting the bulletin in some way. And there we go. My screen.
My rules.
My screen.
I'm done. My screen, my rules.
My screen, my rules.
My screen, my rules.
My screen, my rules.
I think we're done. I'll tell you what, you can choose exactly what you need to watch when you need to watch it, because you have to curate your own viewing experience. That's why the hashtag there, my screen, my rules, is all about.
Just choose to be in charge. Don't allow an algorithm to be in charge of your life, because it has to be your screen and indeed your rules.
Headlining tonight, though, we are looking at the UPDF peacekeeping mission, which has been quite interesting news to find out today. We're going to have a guest in studio who's going to be talking or sharing some insight on that in particular.
The UPDF is going to be deployed in Gaza at the request of the President of the United States. Talk about Uganda and its relations with the United States being on an all-time high. And our relation with the headlines is also on an all-time high. Uganda People's Defense Forces to deploy in Gaza.
That Parliament supports to deploy the Uganda People's Defense Forces in the Gaza Strip.
What does this international deployment mean for Uganda?
That's contributing to broader international security.
The judiciary, there seems to be a connivance.
MP's task Mao to explain alleged human rights violations.
We are all accountable to the people.
Raising concerns over the scope of his ministry.
Encourage Parliament to stand up for the people.
And so I shall surely give them the maximum sentence of death.
The death sentence.
For you to have an appeal, it will take a minimum of 4 years.
while Uganda's last execution was in 1999.
And the maximum of even 10 years or even more.
55 independent MPs signed a cooperation agreement with the NRM, boosting the party's participation in parliament. And the good news is,
I see an immediate potential for us to operate to Maldives.
Uganda Airlines plans for a direct route between Entebbe and the Maldives.
Chances of us carrying cargo from here into Maldives is a possibility.
This is NBS Live at 9 with Samson Kasumba.
You definitely know who is going on to that Uganda Airlines flight, at least the inaugural one, to the Maldives to report live the landing. You know who that will be. I mean, yeah. But on a more serious note, Dr. Arthur Binomgisha is for us ready to get to throw perspective on the top story of the evening. Now, the Parliament of Uganda has passed a motion authorizing a deployment of a Uganda People's Defense Forces contingent for a peacekeeping mission in the Gaza Strip amid protests from the opposition. Presenting the motion in Parliament, the Minister for Defense, Kiriwa Kionka, says Uganda's participation in the International Stabilization Force will help eliminate terrorist cells that have used the Gaza Strip as a base for their operation. He noted that the ongoing conflict in the area has contributed to international terrorism and Uganda's role will support efforts to restore stability.
Parliament has approved a motion for the deployment of a Uganda People's Defense Forces UPDF contingent to the Gaza Strip as part of an international stabilization force, following a heated debate that saw strong resistance from the opposition.
Provides that the president may deploy troops outside Uganda for purposes of peacekeeping.
The motion was presented during Thursday's parliamentary sitting, chaired by Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa.
Will aid in preventing further conflict in the region, thus contributing to broader international security by reducing risks of renewed armed conflict between Israel and Palestine.
The Minister for Defense, Kiriwa Kionka, told the House that the deployment was being made at the invitation of United States President Donald Trump.
Following the invitation by His Excellency Donald Trump, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, is ready to deploy in the Gaza Strip the desired Uganda People's Defense Forces contingent in accordance with Section 38 of the Uganda People's Defense Forces Act.
The minister further argued that Uganda's involvement will directly aid the fight against international terrorism.
Uganda's participation in the International Stabilization Force will contribute to elimination of terrorist cells that have greatly contributed to international terrorism, that have in the past used the Gaza Strip as a base of operations due to the ongoing conflict.
But given the seriousness of this matter,
the motion, however, met serious resistance from the opposition. Opposition MPs described it as an ambush to the House and demanded more time to scrutinize it, saying it lacked the necessary information on the mandate, risks and cost implications of the deployment.
Whether it's not procedurally right that you adjourn, you give us some time for us to address our mind to the motion.
He has fully mobilized this side, leaving out the opposition member who is his counterpart, the Minister of Defense. And I'm ambushed on the floor of Parliament. The matter of deploying our soldiers to a very risky place like Gaza, where Israel strikes every now and again, Right Honourable Speaker, cannot be just casually passed here.
The army is trained not to be in a dancing hall.
NRM and UPDF representatives who supported the motion defended it, saying the deployment was a vote of confidence in Uganda's military at the international level.
Working with superpowers is being requested to participate in such an honorable cause for peace and humanitarian cause.
Uganda is a member of this nation and a member of the community of nations that is required to participate in such missions that include bringing peace.
Life is lived once. Whether you stay in this parliament, whether you stay where, you'll die. And not everybody who has gone to Somalia or whichever mission have died.
And I want to warn
whoever will try to touch the monuments and the pay of the men and the women in uniform who will be going to offer their service, it is not business as usual.
We are there for peacekeeping. We are there to keep peace. When the peace comes, the mission is complete.
With the motion passed, government is now expected to proceed with logistical and diplomatic arrangements for the UPDF contingent to join the International Stabilization Force in Gaza.
Now, as Uganda does prepare its upcoming mission in Gaza, we take a look at the country's past military operations across the continent, building a reputation as a key regional security partner. We are talking Uganda and the UPDF. Now, we begin with the 1990s, where Uganda participated in the UN peacekeeping mission in Liberia under the Deputy Force Commander, Brigadier. It was Lieutenant General retired Ivan Coretta, and he was out there in that particular mission. And in 2007, Uganda became the first country to deploy troops in Somalia as part of the African Union mission. The UPDF has more than 6,200 soldiers serving with the African Union Support and Stabilization Mission in Somalia, AUSOM, formerly the AMISOM. Then, in 2011, the UPDF was part of the AU under the Regional Cooperation Initiative for Eliminating the Lord's Resistance Army. The LRA had been forced out of Uganda and was roaming remote areas of what is now the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, and the Central African Republic. Then, in 2013, that's where we go, Uganda reportedly deployed troops to Juba, South Sudan, to evacuate Ugandan nationals following the outbreak of fighting. And just yesterday, in 2017, Uganda deployed a UPDF team to Equatorial Guinea, and then it was to assist the training of the country's armed forces. So Uganda and the UPDF do have a reputation of being up and about for the cause of peace. I'm now joined by Dr. Arthur Binomgisha for a broader conversation and an insight into the UPDF planned deployment in Gaza. And I intend to ask, what does the UPDF deployment in Gaza mean for Uganda in terms of international relations? Doc, thank you so much for joining us. We are deploying in Gaza. What does this mean for our standing in international matters? And coincidence that we also want the UN top job?
Yeah, thank you, Samson, for having me. I think the deployment of the UPDF in Gaza is a noble cause. The UPDF is an experienced force in peacekeeping missions, as you have articulated them. Somalia would not be where it is now. We participated in South Sudan, in Congo, and in many other countries. And because of that, the UPDF has accumulated experience as a peacekeeping force. So the deployment in Gaza is timely, is useful, but also raises the caliber, raises the respect of Uganda as a country, and the UPDF as a force, that the country is now stable and can contribute to international peace and security. Because small countries like Uganda also must position themselves to contribute to international affairs. But Uganda also has had a relationship with Israel. You remember in 1976, the Palestinians, they hijacked plane landed in Entebbe, and it resulted into that debacle. So now UPDF is going there actually to now on a very good mission, not hostages, but now to go and contribute internationally to the stabilization of Gaza and reconstruction, and perhaps contribute to the lasting peace between Israel and the Palestinians. So I think it's a welcome gesture, an attempt. But of course, caution also must be taken into place that this is a very protracted conflict. We have Hamas, which has been designated as a terrorist organization by the US and the UK. But the good thing is that actually US is the sponsor of that peace, and Hamas has accepted to actually disarm. So my caution or my advice to the UPDF is to remain impartial.
Okay.
Doc,
let me ask. I'm sorry to interject, but let me ask. Those in the know say that there was a phone call from the President of the United States, Donald Trump, to President Yoweri Museveni to request Uganda to be part of this multilateral force, and that this has also seen the desk of the Security Council, where the 5 permanent members who could have vetoed it did not veto it. The fact that this is from Donald Trump to President Yoweri Museveni, how does that affect our relations with other parties within the Gaza conflict?
If I understood you well, you are saying that the United Nations or the United Nations Security Council is not part of it, because I think the whole peace plan of Gaza has been approved by the UN Security Council, although of course it's led by the US, and of course countries and the US is actually leading on this peace plan. They have now the support of the parties at conflict. Israel is actually in agreement. Hamas is in agreement, of course, with some reservations, especially on full disarmament of Hamas. So the call from Trump to President Museveni is also a vote of confidence in a country the size of Uganda, that you come and help. So it elevates the stature of Uganda in international affairs, and I think it's a welcome gesture. But yes, we still have to have a caution that the mission must have a full mandate, fully supported by especially regional powers, especially the Arab countries, so that the mission doesn't result into failure. But I think there is a lot of positivity that this peace mission is likely to bring long-lasting peace and stabilization in that region.
Finally, if I may, there are those who are arguing that President Trump has made more enemies than friends across the world. And here we are in partnership with Donald Trump, who is fighting Iran, and Iran is with us in the non-allied movement. How does that dynamic work?
No, I think, the assumption that Trump has many enemies perhaps is overstretched, because the fact of the matter is that the United States is actually, we are in a unipolar system. It's only a superpower now, and it is always called upon to help here and there. It's like a rich man, one rich man on the village, and therefore, of course, can attract jealousies. But I think Trump is a committed person when it comes to the peace of Israel and the peace of the Middle East. The whole idea is actually to secure the security of Israel, which has perpetually been at conflict with the Arab neighbors. The good news is that the Arab Accords that the US and Israel have signed with the neighbors actually have a paving way to peace and security. And I think now it is the US which has that capability and that credibility there to have peace. Therefore, if the call came from another country to President Museveni that UPDF should help, it would have been I would have been hesitant. But the US, with all the challenges, still has that legitimacy and responsibility to guarantee peace in the Middle East.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arthur Binomgisha, weighing in on the evenings. The Ugandans who want visas to the US like to hear these kinds of things.
I know.
That the US president has called President Yoweri Museveni and...
Quite a conflicting issue, if I should even say, but we have our own issues here at home. We're dealing with some life and death sentences. Now, legal experts have clarified that a death sentence in Uganda does not automatically result in immediate execution, as the law requires several procedures to be completed, including presidential approval and the possibility of mercy or commutation. They also point to the landmark 2007 Supreme Court ruling in the Susan Chugura case, which provides that any inmate who remains on death row for more than 3 years without execution has their sentence commuted to life imprisonment.
Although death penalty remains Uganda's harshest criminal punishment, the law requires several legal procedures to be completed before an execution can take place. Capital punishment is reserved for the most serious offences, including treason and aggravated murder, such as in the murder of Susan Magara and the conviction of Okello Onyum, who was sentenced to death. According to legal experts, a person sentenced to death retains the right to appeal and must first notify the court of their intention to challenge the conviction or sentence within the prescribed period.
It's not like if you're sentenced to death by the High Court, you're going to be executed within a year or 2 years or within a month. It will depend on how long the appellant process takes.
The lawyers explain that the appeal process may proceed through the Court of Appeal and ultimately to the Supreme Court, where judges review whether the lower courts correctly applied the law. This process often takes years before a sentence can be implemented.
For you to have an appeal determined by the Supreme Court, it will take a minimum of 4 years and a maximum of even 10 years or even more.
Even Okello, he submitted his appeal, but they have not called him to hear his appeal. So, and nobody knows when they will call him. So it is dependent on the Court of Appeal when to call him. So if they take 6 years, Okello will still be with us.
Even where a convict chooses not to appeal, the legal process does not end there. The case is still subjected to mandatory legal review before being forwarded to the Advisory Committee on the Prerogative of Mercy, established under the Article 121 of the Constitution. The committee then advises the President, who makes the final decision on whether the sentence should be carried out, reduced, or the convict granted mercy.
The Advisory Committee has a time frame of 6 months within which to make a report to the President.
The lengthy legal process also explains why Uganda has not carried out execution since 1999.
The decision of the Supreme Court Constitutional Appeal number 3 of 2006, the Supreme Court of Uganda made a decision and said that if a person is sentenced to death, but the death sentence is not implemented or enforced within 3 years or more, then such a death sentence becomes unconstitutional.
Because spending a long period of time on the death row is traumatizing, it's inhuman.
Uganda Prison Services spokesperson Frank Baine concurs, explaining that once the President signs an execution warrant, prison authorities have 72 hours to carry out the execution by hanging. Baine says Uganda currently has 96 inmates on death row and 289 serving life sentences. He also explains conditions under which they are held.
But incidentally, out of the 96, there is only one who was so far qualified.
Overall, Uganda's laws do not prescribe a fixed period within which a person sentenced to death must be executed. The sentence can only be carried out after every legal process has been exhausted. The country's last execution was carried out in 1999.
And now the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, has faced tough questions from Parliament's Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee over alleged human rights violations, forced guilty pleas and gaps in Uganda's justice system. The legislators also questioned whether the country's constitutional and legal framework is strong enough to address the challenges facing citizens. Mao, however, urged members of Parliament to use their oversight role to hold security agencies accountable and said reforms are being considered.
Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs Norbert Mao appeared before Parliament's Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee to account for the activities of his ministry. Immediately after his presentation, committee members turned their attention to what they described as gaps within the justice system.
The only person to ask these very questions is you.
The MPs accused the ministry of failing to do enough to protect Ugandans who have been subjected to abductions and torture by security agencies. They challenged Mao to explain whether the country's laws are still effective, arguing the recent events have exposed serious weaknesses in the legal framework. The legislators also pressed the minister to explain whether there is a breakdown in coordination between security agencies, the courts and the prison system.
Security agencies which are inflicting these activities to Ugandans, even the judiciary, there seems to be a connivance.
The committee also questioned the practice of suspects being coerced into pleading guilty in court in exchange for reduced sentences. The MPs accused the ministry of failing to address the practice, saying it has left some Ugandans serving criminal convictions and carrying the stigma of a criminal record permanently. They further claimed that some people have been unable to travel after their visas were revoked because of their criminal records.
People have found it hard these days to get visas, for example, when they want to go out. When they check into the system, what appears there, this one has ever been convicted.
In response, Mao cautioned the legislators against placing the entire burden of responsibility on the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. He argued that safeguarding citizens' rights is a collective responsibility, particularly for Parliament, which he said must use its oversight role to speak out against human rights violations by security agencies.
We are all accountable to the people, and this is the people's house. It's my duty to encourage Parliament to stand up for the people, institutionally, not individually.
Mao said a committee is already being established to examine some of these concerns, raising expectations among Ugandans for reforms in the conduct and operations of security agencies.
In that meeting, it is our duty to stress to the security chiefs, namely CDF, Inspector General of Police, the Commissioner General of Prison, that the constitutional provisions regarding human rights and all the laws that safeguard human rights are not suggestions, they are commands.
Do tell me.
The 10 Commandments.
That too. And our feedback, though, we'd love for you to answer that particular question. That is?
Share your views on what the proposed UPDF deployment in Gaza means for Uganda.
I'd love to hear this one for sure.
I'm nervous.
Mr. Richard Adams says, on my behalf, I think that our national army under leadership of General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is capable of carrying out such a peacekeeping mission because of being a modern and professional army. So that's my opinion. Okay, Richard?
Otherwise, they would not have been invited.
I guess so.
James Kamya, when Gaza is safe, Uganda is safe, and the whole world. Brief and concise.
Or Laku Emmanuel says, such things are brought to Parliament just by name, but the decision's already made.
Well, there was a phone call.
Well.
Gracious Paul Otekat, not proper at all. We don't second the idea. Who is we?
More to come. Brought to you by
Global Paint. How? For the seating. For us, we use Global Mat.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
Well, looking at more to come this evening, 55 independent members of parliament have signed a cooperation agreement with the ruling National Resistance Movement. We'll have that story right after the break.
In life, every minute matters. But sometimes, one simple bank errand takes your whole day. Queues, delays, valuable time lost. But now, Pride Bank edi kumuliango. Deposit money, repay loans, and pay bills easily at a quick teller agent near you. No more wasted time, no more stress. With Pride Agency Banking, powered by Quick Teller, your bank is now part of your everyday life.
Pride kumuliango.
Quick Teller, everyday payments made easy. Pride Bank, your growth is our pride. Pride Bank is regulated and supervised by the Bank of Uganda, and customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda up to 10 million shillings. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, Mr. Mukasa.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay, sir. Are you the broker?
The original one.
I was told you have very good rentals.
That is right. How many bedrooms do you want?
I want 3 bedrooms.
Okay, did I tell you of the price?
Yes, of course. 500,000.
No. This side, the salary went a bit high.
Why?
Because the paint we use is of good quality. So the place gained the value.
Which paint?
Global paint.
How?
For the ceiling, for us we use Global Matte. And for the inside walls, we use Global Silk Vinyl.
Okay, tell me about the outside walls.
Outside we use Global Weather Coat Emulsion so that the walls don't peel.
I'm really impressed. The precision you put while painting, I'm willing to pay any amount.
That is true, because here for us quality is paramount and the place becomes humidity.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
MTN voice bundle. Load. Hey. Hello, Mama. Hey, it is me, your son, Opio. Hey, now, Mama, listen to me. MTN has the offer. Yes, it has the offer. You load from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Now, they have free MTN to MTN minutes. And those minutes are there all day. So you load, you'll thank me later.
Load an MTN voice bundle between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. and get 3 free MTN to MTN minutes valid all day. Dial *100 *21 hash and get your free minutes bully daily. Free your fire with free minutes from MTN. Together, our connection is unstoppable. MTN.
School feeding programs are not just about food. They are about education, health, and equality. Every child deserves to learn without hunger. That is why our school and leaders should make school feeding a priority.
Well-fed children are more attentive and perform better in school. As a parent, it is your duty to ensure your child has access to school meals. Together, we can end child hunger and malnutrition by ensuring every child has school meals. This message is brought to you by World Vision Uganda.
Everybody come alive, that's the light. Bring it up. On the light, don't stop. Run, sorry, marathon to the world right now. Everybody come alive.
On the light at the 5th edition of the Tescalite Mountain Sorry Marathon, August 22nd, Kasese. Register for 5, 10, 21 or 42 kilometers at 60k. Tescalite, on the light, open one. You'll know.
Cooking all that makes food sweet. Tastes so good like mama's keys. Sweet Tamasana, yeah. Stir gold, it's the oil you cooking oil for a tasty meal to live a healthy life. Stir gold, refined, fortified, blended pure vegetable cooking oil, second best to a mother's love.
Indeed, this is my screen and my rules. The National Resistance Movement vowing to respect the party's constitution in supporting government positions on the floor of Parliament, addressing the media after the signing event at Parliament. The government chief whip, Dr. Jen Rutha Cheng, together with the leadership of the NRM Secretariat, led by the Deputy Secretary General, Rose Namanja, said the agreement was signed will see these independent MPs freely interact in the activities of the caucus, in addition to supporting government positions on the floor of Parliament. They argued that the 55 MPs that signed the cooperation are the very ones that express interest in working with the NRM, saying the engagement is still on to have more independent MPs sign the cooperation agreement. The Deputy Secretary General also dismissed claims that these independent MPs had already signed a cooperation agreement in early May, when they were presented at the party headquarters by the former Speaker, Anita Among.
Our engagement was to sign a memorandum of understanding which allows them to participate in the NRM caucus activities and also to support the party positions in Parliament.
But also create a system that can allow them, first and foremost, to participate in party activities, including to attend the NRM caucus, and also to interact freely with ministries, departments, and agencies for the benefit of the constituencies that they do represent. But by and large, from the party side, the goodwill is that we can work together for the good of our country.
So the memorandum of understanding that has been signed today by the respective members of Parliament will create a foundation for them to be able to attend, to be invited to attend the meetings of party organs such as the NRM Parliamentary Caucus, where they may contribute or share their views, and also will form the basis upon which they cooperate even on the floor of Parliament.
We are coming up to hook connections with NRM so that we can tap into their manifesto and serve our constituents.
So you have independents that are not independent after all. Now, officials from the Ministry of Works and Transport appeared before Parliament's Physical Infrastructure Committee, which is investigating the management and use of the revenue collected from the Kampala-Entebbe Express toll. It was revealed that EGIS, the company contracted to collect toll fees, subcontracted the work to Pinnacle Security, a company primarily responsible for providing security services. The committee also discovered that many vehicles use the Entebbe Expressway without paying toll fees, with more than 400 vehicles exempted in a single month.
Officials from the Ministry of Works and Transport appeared before the Physical Infrastructure Committee as part of an inquiry into the management of revenue generated from the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway toll fee. Minister of Works and Transport Fred Byamukama told the committee that the contract awarded to Aegis required the company not only to collect toll fees but also to maintain the expressway.
There are some challenges we can sort out with immediate effect, but there are others which we can solve in the longer term.
However, the company failed to adequately fulfill its road maintenance obligations, and the expressway has since deteriorated.
That expressway itself is a very fantastic innovation, but the problem is just this issue of money.
It seems this bill is a deal of people of Ministry of Works and Transport.
Pinnacle does the highway operations, which include incident management. They do the tolling operations, including collection of the revenue.
Members of Parliament were shocked to learn that Aegis was awarded 122 billion shillings contract for 5 years to collect toll fees and maintain the expressway, with unexpected revenue collection of 146 billion shillings. This meant the government stood to retain only about 24 billion shillings from the arrangement. The committee also established that according to its investigations, the actual revenue collected from the expressway is higher than the figures reflected in the ministry's official records.
And you give a contractor to manage it at 122 billion. The government is taking just 20 billion.
The committee further found that many vehicles use the expressway without paying toll charges. More than 400 vehicles were exempted in just 1 month. Committee chairperson Amwine Mpaka said the committee would summon the minister responsible for authorizing these exemptions.
About 9,777 toll exemptions.
About 4,000 exemptions. And when we asked, they said the president's convoy is the one that is exempted. How many times does the president cross and how many vehicles does he use a day?
The committee established that Aegis South Africa, which was contracted to collect toll fees and maintain the expressway, subcontracted the operational work to Pinnacle Security, which has been carrying out the duties since the contract began.
There is no evidence on the website of Pinnacle for having done the management of road toll in any part of this world.
Interesting comment. The Uganda Prison Service has defended its handling of remand prisoners requiring specialized medical care. The Uganda Prison Service Commissioner General
was repeatedly denied bail on medical grounds, and Dr. Kizza Besigye was reported to be receiving treatment at Mulago Hospital.
What you are informing, those who think of keeping him there with the judiciary is not matching with what is coming from the medical report from Mulago. And that is your duty.
How is Uganda Prison Service dealing with the issue of health complications that prisoners continue to encounter? Some people enter these prisons when they are actually on strong medications and they have their personal doctors.
In response, Dr. Byabashija told the committee that remand prisoners have access to their own doctors. He cited Dr. Kizza Besigye and Elias Lukwago as examples, saying both have been allowed to seek treatment at medical facilities of their choice.
If you are a remand inmate, you have got a right to access your personal physician.
He demanded that Uganda Prison is flexible in ensuring prisoners are in good health and they rely on the doctor's recommendations.
They have had access to their personal. We can even take you to their facilities of their choice. We have been doing specialized tests on one of these inmates at his doctor's clinic.
Dr. Byabashija also raised concern over prison congestion, which he says is being driven largely by prolonged delays in the criminal justice system, with some inmates spending as long as 12 years on remand awaiting trial. He says prisons continue to receive inmates committed for trial by the High Court, but with no timeline for when their cases will be heard.
The Director of Public Prosecutions has completed, he has already examined the file and said, yeah, you should go for trial. Nothing happens after. We have to wait for the court to call this person.
Dr. Byabashija told MPs that prison congestion cannot be addressed by constructing more prisons alone, but requires reforms across the criminal justice system.
before the medal. Before the success, there are mornings no one sees. Days you carry alone. Days the doors won't stay open. Days you need more than you have. Fighting for something bigger than yourself. In those moments, it is the people that show up for us. A hand, a loan, a door that stays open. A silent push to get you moving again. The ones you don't see fighting for you while you're fighting for yourself. That's what it means to have someone on your side. I&M Bank, on your side.
Why pay for someone else's repairs? Say goodbye to hidden costs and hello to peace of mind of a brand new start. Discover the Suzuki range of unmatched, fuel-efficient and reliable options. From the iconic Jimny to the new Across Hybrid. Find the perfect blend of style and world-class efficiency. Upgrade today and enjoy 1 year of free fuel and comprehensive insurance, plus 2 years of free service and a 3-year warranty. Trade in your current car or choose financing to start driving as you pay installments. Don't wait. Visit the Suzuki showroom today or call 0800-211-033 to get started.
You wanna make tasty food that says you want to do that doesn't steal. Candaling one no yan nai. Sika de butto one nai. Nailo akro ya sika de butto one nai. Candaling one no yan nai.
Cook better, sell better with modern healthy cholesterol-free cooking oil and modern non-sticky wheat flour. Modern Yenyabo.
We don't need anyone's permission to move forward. What we need is the power to do it our way. Spiro is not your typical EV company. It's the power grid for African ambition. A network that connects Nairobi to Kigali, Lagos to Lome, Dar to Kampala. Not with cables and wires, but with clean, quiet, relentless movement. This is Africa, powered by us.
Experience the ultimate in bathing luxury with Lanzo Luxury Bathing Soap. Choose from a variety of refreshing types, including menthol, antibacterial, ice cool, blueberry, coconut, and raspberry. Each one promises an upper-world, refreshing feel that redefines your experience with bathing. Lanzo Luxury Bathing Soap, the ultimate refreshing feel. Distributed by Chopper General Enterprises, located at shop number 3, Rafik Building, Chikoba, Kampala. You can find Lanzo Luxury Bathing Soap in shops and supermarkets nearby.
New Tusker Premium Cider. Crisp, delicious apples crushed and blended to create a unique taste explosion.
You need a bigger space to grow your business. You need to be ready for any season.
You need to stop here before we roll.
You need faster checkouts for these busy days.
In business, you need advice, solutions, and sector expertise when it matters.
Your new office space looks great. What's next?
We get it. Absa Business Banking.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into NBS Live at 9. Are you looking forward to going on a holiday? Because you might just be able to go to the Maldives. Uganda is moving to strengthen global connectivity with plans for a direct air route between Entebbe and the Maldives. The high-level talks hosted by State House Investors Protection Unit head Colonel Edith Nakalema included Minister of Works and Transport, Uganda Airlines CEO, and the Maldives Honorary Consulate Administrator. The proposed route is expected to boost tourism, trade, investment and agricultural exports and position Uganda as a getaway for business in the region.
This population of 300-something people, 300,000 people, or higher or less, these people also, they have got what we call luxurious life. At the same time, this one is proved beyond science, they have to eat. And when you look at his presentation, when he talked of coffee, the fruits, all those things. And the being that in Uganda now, they talk of the president, as she told you, that she was put in this office to protect the investors so that they can invest well in this country. And when they invest well, most of them even come to invest in agriculture. So now they talk of getting Ugandans from poverty into wealth creation. I see it best that also we tap into this market. We get our fruits, our coffee, the agricultural commodities. We take cargo to these people who are in that island so that they can also feed on the fresh food from Uganda here.
I'm happy that you are coming with a proposal. From what I know, I think I will tell the story. Yes. There is no direct operation into Maldives on a schedule basis. No. Because the market is very, very, very small. Population is what you can pack in 5 aircraft. So the real population of Maldives will not attract any airline to operate into Maldives. What attracts an airline to operate into Maldives is the number of tourists who go to Maldives. Yes. European tourists, especially Germans, Italians.
Enhance investments through strengthening the bilateral relationships and open new economic corridors for investors from many destinations of the world. Number 2 will be tourism. The route may boost tourism by connecting Uganda's potential with the offerings in the Indian Ocean.
Now, the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants Uganda has launched the 10th Chief Financial Officer Awards, calling on finance leaders to embrace artificial intelligence and sustainability as business navigate an increasingly digital and competitive economy. Launching the awards on Thursday, ACCA Uganda Country Manager Charlotte said the role of Chief Financial Officers has evolved from traditional accounting to strategic leadership, placing finance executives at the center of corporate decision-making and organizational transformation. She said modern finance professionals must lead organizations through technological
winner of these awards represents a story of resilience, integrity, and visionary leadership that has kept Ugandan businesses sustainable and profitable. We had a huge challenge after COVID because there was a lot of change, but we seem to have come back very quickly thanks to the strong financial leadership in this country. As a team, a delivery team, we've also reported year-on-year growth, and we celebrate that because there's increased interest, there is increased change in the profiles of these winners, which was one of our objectives.
The awards are open to the private sector, the public sector, NGOs, SMEs, and all industries. I think the other day I was speaking to a colleague who runs a business in Chikuba, and they asked me, can they participate? And I said, yes, you are more than welcome, because you have a CFO running your business, as small as you might think it is. Come and showcase how you've contributed to this business.
NBS will definitely take lead, but our different brands will be supporting this to ensure that, again, this is a conversation that is as national as possible. We have our Sanyuka TV platform that will speak to the mainstream, that Chikobo trader, and to ensure that they also know they have a role to play and a celebration to be a part of over here, among other different niche platforms. So we'll bring those all together and ensure that October is a great month for finance and that we make a great contribution to that. Thank you.
Well, let's move next door to our neighboring country, Kenya, where President William Ruto has directed government agencies to crack down on private security companies that fail to pay guards the legal minimum wage. Speaking during a meeting with thousands of private security officers at State House, Nairobi on Thursday, the president warned that paying workers less than the minimum wage was unlawful and inhumane.
Addressing the gathering, President William Ruto said the security firms had failed to implement the minimum wage increase announced during this year's Labor Day celebrations in Kenya. He noted that reports indicated some guards were still earning less than 10,000 shillings per month, despite the government's directive.
Our good friends in the private security space, the regulator is here, the Ministry of Interior is here, the Ministry of Labor is represented. We must work collaboratively, working together to ensure that every security company operates within the parameters of the law. Sheria ya Kenya inasema mwananchi kuna minimum wage mwananchi analipwa, and that is not negotiable. We can negotiate about anything else.
The head of state directed the Private Security Regulatory Authority, the Ministry of Interior, and the Ministry of Labor to work jointly to ensure all private security companies comply with labor laws. He insisted that the minimum wage requirement was not negotiable and ordered all relevant agencies to enhance compliance across the sector.
A private security officer should not lose a lifetime of savings because a child, spouse, or parent falls ill. Through the Social Health Authority, we are building a healthcare system in which treatment is determined by need rather than income.
The president also urged employers to remit statutory deductions, including contributions to the Social Health Authority and the National Social Security Fund, saying this would enable security officers to access healthcare services and retire with dignity. The directive comes amid ongoing disputes over the implementation of the wage increase announced during Labor Day celebrations in Vihiga County. Brian Amwai for Live at 9.
Searching for the right investment destination, Kabalega Petro-based Industrial Park is now open for business in Hoima, Uganda. Over 221 plots measuring 536 acres are available for petrochemicals, agro-processing, manufacturing, industrial services, logistics, warehousing, ICT, hospitality, commercial and residential. Don't let this opportunity pass you. Visit the KIP Investor Portal at kip.unok.com. Discover the various investment opportunities and project updates, create an account, and book a site visit at KIP. Kabalega Petro-based Industrial Park is open for business. Invest in KIP, invest in Uganda.
Uganda, are you ready for the biggest honey show in Africa? This August, Tunado welcomes the world to the 4th Africa Apimondia Symposium and Exhibition featuring honey show, apiculture, learning sessions, and business networking opportunities under the theme Beekeeping for Business and Livelihoods. Partnership with Come, Network, Learn, Grow.
Let's have this one more time. Come closer. Nice, nice. Show me the hands. That's nice. I love this.
Mr. It's time. That gets something waiting. 1
minute. Turn to your left. Yes, nice.
By the way, so your landlord is here to attend your wedding. No, he's not on the list. Why? He didn't finish his pledge.
We don't just welcome your cherished guests. We celebrate everyone.
How do you make a party? You take time to prepare, to bring all the pieces together, to craft it right. The result, great refreshment. And that makes it time well spent. Club, brewed longer for longer refreshment.
Uganda is moving forward. And at the heart of that movement is the most extensive fiber network in East Africa, with more than 15,000 kilometers of fiber and over 5,000 telecom mast sites. Soliton Telmec is the backbone that enables Uganda's telecom and digital infrastructure, connecting government services, businesses, homes, universities, hospitals, banks, villages, and telecom masts. We don't just build networks, we maintain and commercialize critical infrastructure that supports national development. East Africa's leading fiber company, connecting Uganda with the most capacity. Soliton Telmec, building networks for life.
For more information, please contact us on 0760-663-061 or email reservations@mbzgroup.africa.
Business Pulse, brought to you by
Well, let's jump into some business this evening. MTN Momo is entering a new phase of digital transformation with Lubega Fraser as Managing Director. MTN Group says his appointment will drive innovation, stronger partnership and wider financial inclusion. The launch event drew regulators, bankers and MTN Uganda leadership to celebrate the next chapter for mobile financial services.
Uganda's economy is undergoing a rapid digital transformation, with mobile money and digital financial services playing an increasingly central role in driving the desired growth. It's against this backdrop that the MTN Group has named Lubega Fraser as the new managing director of MTN Momo, entrusting him with the responsibility of steering the company into its next phase of innovation and growth.
The board looks forward to working closely with you and your team as to build on this strong foundation and lead MTN Momo into its next phase. This evening's theme, Run with Phrase, reminds us that the future is built not by individuals alone, but by people united by purpose.
MTN executives describe Lubega as a competent and selfless leader whose commitment to excellence has earned him the confidence to steer Momo into the next phase of growth.
He served as our general manager, responsible for the operations, and also helped shape the foundation upon which our MTN Momo business has actually been built. He then left and had a very wide experience working in different markets with the late across MTN Group, and I'm sure when he comes to speak to us, he will share some of the experiences that he has had in different markets. But the thing is, everywhere he has gone, he has been a man who has faced market challenges, but more importantly, has actually been able to overcome them. So we celebrate the commercial acumen that he brings. We celebrate the fact that we have a Ugandan leading one of the fastest growing parts of our MTN Group. And I know that with the deep experience that he has, the institutional memory that he has had over many years, and a clear understanding of the responsibility and the accountability that the board holds you up to.
In his remarks, Fraser Lubega pledged to build on a strong foundation already established by MTN Momo while embracing innovation and collaboration to deliver greater value to customers, partners, and stakeholders.
I'm deeply honored and humbled by the warm welcome that has been extended to me this evening. The gathering we have this evening reflects the very strong partnership and foundation that MTN has laid together with all the partners we serve our customers with. We have regulators around, we have banking partners around, we have aggregators or integrators that enable our ecosystems to expand and serve our customers. We have dealers who enable us to ensure that liquidity and float and our customer base is served properly.
The parent is Turiahewa Dixon. And the child is Ani Turiahewa Esther.
Kambera gwete kwa mchisha ngo isha watu yayewa Esther wahangura school fees ngene na hateja shana amashemero kwa gonka MTN Momo eberewo mbeni nyegasta igana kaga ni 5 sta manana 0 hash kushashuro mwana school fees tokoma nyo mchisheri zagwije wanje ninga nchaka ngwasa kuzo wawe mwebare munonga.
Start something new, something uplifting, something so effortless and golden. A thirst-quenching burst of sweetness and malty flavor, so rich and full of memories. It's 100% taste, zero alcohol, Try it. Savor it. Feel it elevate every moment. Sip after sip, gulp after gulp. After all, life's about turning ordinary thrills into golden chills.
Start something malty with the new Evervest Malt Apple and Pineapple. Try the burst of sweetness and malty flavor. It's 100% taste, zero alcohol. Available in a shop or supermarket near you. Evervest Malt. Make every moment golden. Evervest Malt is from the makers of PepsiCo.
Looking for a vacation of a lifetime? Cross the equator and discover Pineapple Bay Resort. Enjoy exceptional life's luxuries. Spend quality time with family, friends, or even that special someone. Get in touch with nature with our range of outdoor activities. The calming tranquility of water, breathtaking views, moving memories around campfires. It's all here. Plus, a club experience like no other at Pineapple Bay Clubhouse. It's a whole vibe. You can hire any of our 3 VIP cruise boats for groups of 10, 14, or 25.